Hello, investor and trader. Welcome back to another episode of the Live Day Trading Recap. So I can't believe today I make two videos instead of one video because I see that I just made two more trades after the bell ring because of earnings, and I thought, hey, this is pretty good information how to play earnings. I think I mentioned before that you can do three things when it comes to earning. Number one is buy the stock before earnings, normally 2 or 3 weeks before earnings. Um, the tech stock tend to rally up. That's just how it is, and hold through the 2 or 3 weeks. The second option is hold through earnings. You can hold, buy the stock 3 weeks prior to earning, and then hold through earning to see what the result's going to be. You'd be surprised it'll pop 10% or down 10%. That's just hope and pray. That's strategy. The third strategy is you play the reaction of earnings. So for me, my reaction is catching a falling knife. Now there are some people know how to catch spikes or know how to play spikes. For me, I haven't learned consistent profit yet on playing spikes. So I like to catch dip buy. So let's just roll the footage. So today Fastly released earning and you can see the stock just spike. I'm like, whoa, that's like around, I don't know, 10% spike almost. Yeah, like 10% spike from 94 to 104, more than $10, so $10. So that's a 10% spike. But I didn't chase it. I just let it cool down because I don't know how to play it. If I don't know how to play the spike, I'm not gonna trade. Because I could have buy like right here and thinking, oh, it can go to 105 or 106. Who knows, right? On top of that, I have to fill these order out using limit order because it's aftermarket. You can't get in and out of stock easily by one click of a button. And when I trade, I fill out my order manually, so I need time to think. So there's no way I'm catching this spike. I need to wait for the stock to cool down. And eventually it did that. So patience pays off. So once the stock starts to go down, the next question is you need to ask yourself, how low can this thing go, right? So you look at the daily and the weekly. Sometimes the monthly too, it just depends how much the reaction is. But most of the time, it's just daily and weekly should be good enough because monthly is a little kind of pushing it. But you'd be surprised, right? Have you moving average up? For me, I have the 50, the 150, the 200, and of course the 50 up, all EMAs. So that gives me an idea, because those supports or moving averages, I know a buyer will be stepping in because they watch the same thing I'm watching. Or the whole number. Well, for my case, is the whole number, which is the 90. So I enter a half size, not full size, just in case for error. You never want to enter a full size on these earnings because you never know how low this can go. I mean, you'd be surprised some stock tank like 15%, 20%, 30%. It's crazy. And there won't be any bounce. Maybe there'll be a small bounce, but not like a big bounce. So here I have my order ready for Fastly at 90 and a half. So I'm about to enter pretty soon. Half size. See, I only put 500 shares, and if you watch my videos, I normally trade 1,000 shares because I want to play it safe. I don't know. So I got filled, and it's still tanking to 88, I think. Yeah, and then the bounce, and that's how I got out. So I was pretty close, right? $2 off. But good thing is I know I didn't buy up here or buy right here, right? Or else I'm kind of screwed, kind of. Okay, so that's Fastly. Fastly didn't really do much of a bounce. I mean, you're very optimistic. You can sell up here, 93, because there's a moving average right here. The 6 EMA on the daily chart. Okay, so that's Fastly. That was a pretty good trade. Let's go to another stock that's pop up on my scanner, STMP. STMP, I totally missed this whole entire candle. I was AFK. Came back to the laptop, see anything going on, and I saw that big dip, so they got my attention. So I'm like, okay, let's wait for another dip if that's possible. So here, I'm just doing my investigation. How low can this thing go? You can see right here. I was looking at the daily to double check. So these are my moving averages that I have. And I'm like, okay, so now it's like 30, so it's right here already. So it broke this moving average. So the next one is the 225. Okay. I should have known, man. I mean, I never thought this can drop that much. I mean, think about it. It went from 260 down to 230. I thought my entry was good, but it's not. So I enter at 230, limit order, fill right there. So I got filled, and at first I thought, okay, I think this is the bottom, but notice this candle is a solid red. That means there are more sellers. So at this time, I'm not panicking. Again, there's only 500 shares. I'm not going to go in 1,000 shares or 2,000 shares. Heck no. It's just too much risk. So I got to reduce my risk. So now I'm thinking, okay, so I'll pass the 230. Next stop, it can't be 203. That's too far. So I go back to the daily. So I'm like, okay, it must be 225 or 220. Again, it's a whole number. That's just the psychology number. But I should have known 225, but damn. So it dropped all the way down to 222. I have another order at 220, just in case it dropped that low. So I'm going to have another order pretty soon. Right there. So I have another 500 share order ready if it drops down, man. It could, right? I mean, this thing just dropped like $8 just like that. So at this point, I'm like I said, I'm not panicking. I have another control. Even if I'm in 1,000 shares, I could buy another few thousand shares if I have to. But I want to play it safe. I think 500 is good enough. 1,000 is if it hits, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I just leave the order there for now, and eventually the stock does what I want it to do. It pop. Notice this moving average here is moving down pretty fast as time goes on. So the next candle just dropped. It's almost hit it, but it didn't. So that's kind of a bummer. I still have my order right there waiting for another 500 shares to be filled. But that didn't happen because the stock just popped. So I have my limit or sell order ready at 334, so $3 above. But I guess I got impatient and I just take the half 350 and a half. Sorry, 33 and a half instead of the 34 whole dollar. But eventually it hits this moving average at 337 eventually. But I didn't hit the 220, so that was a bummer, so I canceled the order. Now, it'd be great I can get 220. Yeah, so that's how I play earning. I mean, it's very risky as long as you reduce your size and have enough buying power to average your cost down several times if you need to. Because these right here, when these massive dip like this, you know there's going to be a bounce, but we just don't know how high the bounce is going to be. Sometimes it'll be a good bounce, like a V-shaped recovery. Sometimes it'll be like a quarter bounce and just go down. It's very hard to predict, but as long as you catch near the bottom, you should be fine. I mean, you think like, oh, I'm gonna catch right here at 250 because the whole number, okay, and I catch at 245, okay, and then at 240 and at 230. You buy like 4 or 5 times right here already. You're probably out of buying power. You're probably scared like shit right now, right? Because the stock kept going down. As long as you kind of catch near the bottom, you should be fine. And of course, it takes a lot of practice. It's not overnight. So I end up the day with today with a 4,800. On top of that, wing. I took a bite out of wing. I think you watched my last video. I want to bite a piece out of wing because it's so tempting to catch the falling knife, but I missed it. So I like, you know what? I just want a piece of wing, it just for the fun of it. So wing, the same thing. It released earning, and that thing just tank like massively, almost 17% tank. You can see that this thing can tank fast from 166 all down to 138. And that's crazy. So I just took a small scalp out of it. So I end up with a day of 4,800. So right now up for this month is over 20K, right on 20,000. So that's kind of funny. Okay, see you guys in the next video. Bye.